It's Week 12 of the National Football League, and we'll see Garrett Wilson. It was a nice line for him a week ago, reaching the century mark and scoring a touchdown. It's the Jets and the Dolphins next on Madden NFL 24.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Today, Week 12 of the NFL season is upon us, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column. Something's
got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
Here's Achane to start the drive, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down. The numbers for him from a week ago: 11 carries, 55 yards.
Sitting 10th in the league in rushing isn't bad, but it's also not as high as where he knows he should be with how talented he is. There's definitely another gear there, and hopefully their game plan gives him an opportunity to hit it and put together one of his best performances of the season.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Jets will take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. From the 35, here's 2nd and 4. Rodgers going to throw. He completes that to Garrett Wilson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Here's Rodgers. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Jalen Phillips. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Yeah, and that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he'll work this one up to about the 38.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Open man here is Conklin. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. So on fourth down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. Sitting at first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit, or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and 4.
Running left, Achane. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
You remember in preseason we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. They'll let this go deep for Waddle. And that's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Jalen Waddle there. That'll bring up second down. You talk about this Jets defense. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Over the middle, it's complete. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 34-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
They'll run for it with Achane. That'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Mike McDaniel dialing up the risk here a little bit on 4th down. They're going to go for it. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. But he will not get away. He stops short of the marker. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on fourth, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much fourth downs were emphasized, you know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you, you know. If people are going to go for it on fourth down, they believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
Rodgers now on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. That's to the speedster Olamide Zaccheaus. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. If I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
50 catches for him now on the year. He's got a first down. Throwing is Rodgers. That's going to be caught by Samuel. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be second down. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here. Here's 2nd and 7. As they've got it as we resume action. Back to the ground with Hall. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
It looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. He swallowed him up. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins 19. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. They'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down. Running left, it's Hall. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
It's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 3.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. Now the Jets will call on a field goal unit here. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And the Jets hit the board first. It's 3-0.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5.
Now 2nd and 5.
Tua sets up to pass it over the middle and complete to Waddle. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
Couple of Alabama guys there. Tua to Waddle for the Miami first.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Tua to throw again.
He's got his running back out of the backfield.
Touchdown, Dolphins.
Devon Achane
With touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Point after here coming up. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Jets offensive unit ready to get going here. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
And again, it's Rodgers.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
Now Rodgers.
That is caught.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 45-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Rodgers now to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. He's to the 15, and they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. What a play. The big man comes up with the interception. Puts together, Charles, a nice little return, too.
Yeah, he's not going to make anybody forget Darrell Green or Rod Woodson, but look at him lug that thing. He decided it was his. A lot of people might have thought about lateraling it there. No shot. Trying to take it the distance.
So now here come the Dolphins. And now they are in prime position, 1st and goal after the interception and return. They'll look to make it pay off for 6 points. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. From 4 yards out. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster. Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. His throw incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there, getting him the first. From midfield, here's Rodgers. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Rodgers' throw taken in by Samuel. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A very solid gain of 27. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Ben Mason, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jets get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Tua. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
You still hold your breath a little when Tua gets out of the pocket, but there he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Jet touchdown. Charles, I'm looking at you, and understandably, your mouth is wide open in disbelief. What were they thinking?
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I will guarantee they told them, don't just make anticipatory throws. Make sure you see it before you throw it. Didn't happen here.
Trying to protect that lead, and now they gave it up. Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. The Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Now the Dolphins with one final possession here in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number one.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And a pretty good run, all things considered. Probably would have liked that in the first quarter instead of right now as the clock continues to run. So we've hit halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the home team, the Jets, leading this one. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, bye weeks, they're over. We've once again got a full slate of games to get to as we take you around the NFL here in Week 12. And then finally, a good one on Monday Night Football between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This is a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
A field goal the difference. 17-14 is the score. Back underway here now in this third quarter. So here are the Jets now to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Open man here is Conklin. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, And then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Now into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. That is a tough way to start the third quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
After the turnover, it's Tua. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. Here's 3rd and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Up the middle, Achane. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Now Tua. This one thrown underneath to Achane. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. They set up the screen. Achane has it. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed. But that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have retaken a third quarter lead. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will make this a 4-point game. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team. New York ready to go again offensively. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down. To throw is Rodgers.
Taking in left side, it's Wilson.
Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 36 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Rodgers again now. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete. That'll give him 8 that time, and it'll be 2nd and a couple.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 38-yard line.
On play action, Rodgers.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. For 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Handoff, running left. Here's Hall.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. He was out there waving his arm saying throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll bring him back within a point.
So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the 3rd quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send a message that says, hey, we're not going away.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Miami set to take over. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both.
And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They'll get 34 yards there.
As we've seen over the years, offense coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover or put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And Waddle going to have a Dolphins first down as he'll get this down to the 36.
We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the 4th quarter of play. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Touchdown!
Jalen Waddle, 36 yards. And the Dolphins get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
And New York set to take the field.
There's still plenty of time here in the 4th quarter. Just a 1-possession game, down 8. They'll be looking for the touchdown and 2-point conversion. A field goal here on this drive does very little at this stage. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a jet was shaken up on that one.
We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And he's got his big tight end here.
Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles. And that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers.
He dumps this one off here to Hall.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
An assortment of sacks in this game. This one the product of a good jump and terrific effort. Moves quickly off the snap of the ball. Doesn't let up until he's in the backfield and impacting the quarterback.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This will be 3rd and forever. Rodgers now to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 43. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. He's still on his feet. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Cedric Wilson, 57 yards.
And the Dolphins look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is up to 15 now. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Now Hall to start the drive.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 30-yard line.
Rodgers going to throw.
This pass out wide to Hall.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards is the pickup. Good enough for a Jet first down.
That's good for a Jets. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
This is Wilson on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12 at the 39-yard line.
Here's Rodgers. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Rodgers. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now Rodgers, got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Back to the air on 2nd down, Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown.
Ced Wilson
with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year.
And the Dolphins are closing in on a 9th victory on the year as they extend their lead. So an important touchdown right there, is now they're really beginning to pull away.
Yeah, this was a tight game until not too long ago. But since then, they've hit the accelerator. And they pushed the lead up to 3 scores here in the 4th quarter. And I don't see them looking back.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins.
And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
And New York set to take the field.
Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Now Rodgers.
Zacchaeus here, hauling it in.
Well, hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player.
We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium.
This is 2nd and 8.
Now Rodgers. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked.
Christian Wilkins coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
I know nowadays they give a lot of guys different things when they get to the sidelines after creating a big play, but just throw a cape on this guy because he single-handedly ended multiple drives. Interception earlier, sack on 3rd down. Really? Should have a better game plan installed for how to contain him because he's affecting this game in so many ways.
On is the punter Hecker as he gets this one away. Watch out for Hill on the return.
It's a 45-yard punt, then 8 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Again, it's Achane.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
A gain of 3 yards. It's now 4th down.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And New York set to take the field.
And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat.
Rodgers now on 1st down.
A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else. Ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw taken in by Samuel.
And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20. And now they're in the hurry-up.
That's good for a Jets.
On 1st down, Rodgers. Open man here is Conklin. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
23 more yards. That's another Jets. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
And again, it's Rodgers. That'll be complete to Allen Lazard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
4 yards. That's another.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Now a 2nd and 6.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
They'll set up the screen for Hall.
Broke through some contacts, but unable to reach the 40. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey.
Well, I guess an interception at this point on fourth down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there, and he winds up giving the ball away.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And they'll give this to Achane. And he will be out of bounds. A good yardage there, and he'll get a second to catch his breath as it leads us right into the 2-minute warning. On 1st down, back to Achane. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 16-yard line.
And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. And New York set to take the field. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Now Hill to return it. Still fighting for more. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Dolphins, they continue to make their case for the playoffs as they move to 9-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Jets, the problems just get worse and worse as they fall to 2-9 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.